Good morning. My name is Andy Yossinof. I'm the head women's basketball coach at Emmanuel College. I'm the associate athletic director, and I've been at Emmanuel. I'm starting my 49th year at Emmanuel. I'm also a former phys ed teacher, adaptive phys ed teacher in the Boston Public Schools for 34 years, and I'm really happy to be here to support Corey McCarthy in the Boston Public Schools and developing a much stronger athletic department.
Being in education for so many years, what is kind of your overview of the changes in education these last 30 years that you've seen, good and bad?
Well, things have changed dramatically. I started in Boston in about 1973. I retired in 2008. And, things have changed. When I first started, it was the busing issue in Boston. My first job was at the Dearborn in Roxbury, and that's when I started coaching the boys junior high. And things have changed dramatically. I think when I first started in the Boston Public Schools, I think the parents were more involved in the education of their children, and I think they were more actively involved, supporting them. And unfortunately, in recent times, many of the inner city students only have one parent, which makes it very difficult because they're trying to support their children, but they can't. They're not always at home to be with them, and hopefully the Boston Public School does a much better job increasing the academic excellence in the classroom, and they have more. I think they really need a lot more support as far as in the athletic department, as far as having the right funds to have the right equipment, the right uniforms, like this. Everyone in the suburbs to make them feel like they're, that we really care about them.
For you, how are you able, being an educator for over 30 years, also being a head coach for over 40 years?
48, 49.
Yeah, right? So that is a big thing. You're pretty much nurturing a lot of young men and women in both aspects, right? For you, how were you able just to take them in and kind of teach them life, outside of the sport, outside of the education aspect?
Well, my job, especially coaching for 49 years at Emmanuel College, my first job is to make sure that my players do the right things off the court, and we're talking about academics. Number one, as a teacher my whole life, my father was a guidance counselor. It's all about academics with me, and it's all about getting the right internships, getting the right jobs afterwards. And I just try when I recruit somebody and I take them, I more or less adopt them as my daughters. And I have a relationship with all my parents, and I work very hard to keep those relationships over the last 49 years and make sure, even after they graduate a long time ago, that if they need any help as far as finding jobs or any advice, I'm there to help them.
Being a head coach at one place, that's not easy. You see, this day and age, there's always changes in the coaching world. But what is the one key thing to be able to coach at one location for over 40 years?
Yeah, but nowadays, unfortunately, especially in Division I, coaches stay for 2, 3, 4 years, and they're always looking to move on. But my secret is that I love Emmanuel, and I love the family. Nowadays, you can't find a school where the classes are 16-to-1 ratio. Everyone knows you. Because I've been so long, for many years, Emmanuel was all girls. Now it's co-ed, but it's all about relationships. And the reason I think I've had so much success and I've never left Emmanuel is I love the place, and I know my players, each one of them is going to get a great education, And if they have any problems, there's always someone at Emmanuel that's going to help them. And that's why I've stayed all these years.
And you talked about, one of your key things for your team is defense, but also the game of basketball has changed throughout the years, right? And as a head coach, you look at it and you have to adjust to what's going on in the landscape of it. How have you just been able to adjust to the changing of the game? It's a lot more fast-paced now. You talked about the three-point shot now in that aspect, but how have you just been able to adjust to the game, but also keeping your true nature in coaching?
Yeah. Well, as far as fast-paced, since I began coaching my fraternity team at University of Rhode Island in the late '60s, I've always been. That's my game: pressing, running, fast breaks, layups. That's the old school. But in recent years, even someone like me has to realize that the three-point shot has become very, very prevalent in every level of sports in basketball. So I finally have come to the conclusion that even me in Emmanuel College has to recruit more three-point shooters that can put the ball in the basket. But fast pace has always been my game.
And then lastly, you're seeing a lot of coaches here, a lot of young coaches too. What's the biggest advice that you got when you first started as a head coach that you could pass on to them to help them in their coaching journey?
Well, I think just like I said, it's all about getting better as a coach. And you've been coaching 1 year or 49 years like me. There is always something you can learn. And the more clinics you go, the more videos you watch, the more people you talk to, the better coach you're going to be, no matter how many years you've been coaching.
Yeah. And what's the biggest life advice that you ever received from anybody? It could be your dad, it could be a coach, it could be somebody that they give to you that you still hold on to this day.
It's probably from my father. My father was the kind of guy that never had, when he was teaching school in Providence, Rhode Island, never took a lunch break, first person to show up, last person to leave. And he taught me how important is the key to success is to outwork everyone and take no time off. And if you're gonna work with kids and you want to be successful, you got to go 150% all the time. You don't take time off.
All right. And then lastly, what is one message that you want to send out to all the young kids that have basketball aspirations or that just want to be successful in life? What is a message that you have for them?
If you want to be successful in basketball, in life, and everything you do, you can't have excuses. You got to be willing to work, and you got to be willing every day to get better. Academically, basketball, everything you do, it's about respect. You need to respect your coaches, your parents, and your teammates. It's not about you; it's about the team.
Thank you very much, sir.